Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
Woody, mine's a little different. When my son and his friend were about 6 or 7 years old, they wanted to go on a camping trip with me because I grew up kind of camping quite a bit. And so I said, hey, let's go to this lake that I used to go to. So the three of us packed everything together. And again, remember, I'm dealing with 2 7-year-olds here.
Yeah.
Got a tent, a cooler, a bunch of other stuff. And I go to this beautiful campground. And all of a sudden, the wind comes up so bad that I can't get the tent up. Takes me about, probably a good hour to finally get it up. And finally, 2 tourists see me struggling with it, and they help me get the tent up. Well, I'd forgotten to bring a mattress.
Oh, no.
Now, with 7-year-olds, that's probably not a big deal. But I was probably 34, 35 at the time, and it was a big deal. I woke up in the middle of the night on the floor with no mattress, and all of a sudden, I felt something in my rear that hurt so bad I could hardly move. Here it was a hemorrhoid.
You got hemorrhoids from sleeping on a floor?
Sleeping on the ground, and I could hardly move. It hurt so bad. So I look at the 2 7-year-olds and I go, guys, we got to go home. Now we're about 2.5 hours away from home. And this had nothing to do with the destination. It wasn't their fault. It was actually mine. But they go, we just got here. What about fishing? And what about camping? And what about going to this restaurant? I said, no, guys, we're going home. Well, you can't explain a hemorrhoid to a couple of 7-year-olds. By the time I could hardly drive home, Woody. That's how bad it was. I had never had one before, so I didn't know what to expect. I get home. The pain is excruciating. I've never had pain like that in my life. It is all from sleeping on that ground. This went on for like 2 days. I call urgent care, they can't get me in. I call the emergency room. The woman actually laughed at me. Said, you can take care of that yourself. And I said, no. What do I do? Lance it myself?
Oh, my God.
So this goes on for like 2 days.
A vacation so bad.
Hemorrhoid. Thing was sticking out about 3 inches.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I said, I am never, ever going camping again in my life, and I'm not going back to that place. But it was a total miserable experience.
Have you ever been back camping?
Never.
Well, we love to camp. We used to love to camp. We rented this open air cabin one time, and a beautiful state park. Weather looked good. And about 10 o'clock at night, we get there. We got all our stuff out. And wouldn't you know, this horrendous thunderstorm rolls in.
Oh, no.
And open air, we pretty much got 3 inches of rain or more. I don't know. It was just, everything was wet. We're like, okay, do we just like hunker down? We finally just pouring rain. We threw all our stuff in the back of the truck and we just bugged out. And that, so one, never tent or open air camping. Man, you're just asking for trouble. For us, we're never going back to that.
Now, by open air, you mean you're looking at the stars overhead when you're in there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it had a little, more like a teepee kind of thing, but, where you lifted up the sides, and it was a platform to sleeping bags on. And, really, if the weather was cooperating, it had been just great. But we seem to have had more of those kind of camping experiences. So maybe I'll just lump that whole camping thing in the things we're not going back to.
In October 2023, my friend Jessica and I went to Mexico together, and we had been wanting to go to Acapulco for years and stay at this specific Airbnb. And we got there on Saturday, and we were going to stay for a week. I was looking at the forecast. So we got there on Saturday. The weather was beautiful. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. By Tuesday morning, I got a notification on my phone that there was a tropical storm forming off of the coast. And my friend and I were like kind of excited. And then by by Tuesday night, so in a span of under 24 hours, it strengthened from a tropical storm to a Category 5 hurricane. And we had no time to really like get out of the city, and we had to shelter in a closet when the hurricane moved in. We actually like got the worst of the storm, so we were in the eye of the hurricane. The wind speeds were like 160 miles per hour. It was actually the worst hurricane to ever hit Mexico. So we rode out the storm in a closet. It was super scary because the whole time like the house was shaking. Part of the roof flew off. Probably 6 hours of our life. It was pretty terrible.
Yeah, I would call that a vacation from hell.
Yes, it was insane.
Oh my goodness. So my dad just loves the beach. He loves to just relax and sit on the beach. And we had never gone on a trip like this before, this big. We rented a beach house for the week down in Georgia, and his best friend's family rented the beach house next to us. And the night before we were going to make this 20-hour drive with 4 kids, my dad started having some back pain, and we got down there the first night, kind of late, just went to dinner, stayed in, and my dad was just getting sicker and sicker, was not feeling right. The next morning, first day of our trip, my dad passed out in the shower and had to be taken to the ER.
Oh, no.
And he had to have emergency surgery the following day with a plastic surgeon. My mom had to drive him to a neighboring island so they could remove a cyst on his back.
Oh.
My dad was in recovery for the entire rest of the trip, wasn't allowed to even so much as put his feet in the water till the last day. And my grandma and my mom had to dress, undress, and redress his wound every day for the next 3 to 4 months.
Oh, the poor guy?
Yep, spent the whole trip in bed.
Oh, well, that's a vacation you'll never forget.
No, it's not. We talk about it often.
My wife, rest in peace, her birthday was June 6th. So first week of June, we would always go camping up at Lake Erie at East Harbor. First year we go up there, the first day we're out there fishing, I get sun poisoning.
Oh.
The second day, the car breaks down. And I don't know if you've ever had sun poisoning.
No, I haven't.
I was sick as a dog for about 2 days, and then you peel from head to toe like a lizard. All of our side money got used up getting the car fixed, except for her birthday was a one-day trip to Cedar Point, which East Harbor is like an hour away. We get there and it's 58 degrees and raining the whole day.
Oh, you didn't have a single good day in this entire vacation.
Not really, no. But yeah, that was unquestionably the worst vacation.
I sure will. Well, I planned a birthday gift for my daughter. It was a cruise to Hawaii. And I picked the only American cruise line going there. And then 9/11 hit. The travel company had talked me out of insurance for the trip. And the American cruise line went out of business right after 9/11. So we never made it to Hawaii.
They talked you out of travel insurance.
They did. They talked us out of travel insurance.
Good grief. Well, I know who you weren't going through then.
And then a few years later, we went to the Dominican Republic, and half of everything in my luggage was stolen.
Oh, no. Wow. You have had 2 terrible cruise. Well, one was not even a cruise. You didn't get that far, but at least one terrible cruise experience.
Could have been worse, I guess. We could have flown all the way out to California and then discovered that there was no cruise to Hawaii.
Yeah.
But we discovered it before even taking the flight.
You need to come on a Woodhead cruise because Magic Cruises and Tours does it absolutely right. And they will try to talk you into travel insurance.
Well, we will look into that. Thank you.
Woody, it's good to hear your voice again, first-time caller. Are we talking about, like, worst vacations still?
We still are, sir.
Okay, real quick. I was on vacation. I was a youngster with my family. We went to vacation in Maryland for the first time in probably 10 years that our family went on vacation. And my grandfather was back at home, the boss of the machine shop, and he got mad at everybody. And by the time my dad called to check on the machine shop, he had fired everybody, and all the machine shop was completely shut down. So he had to go back home and hire everybody back and give them raises, and had to fire his dad.
Hey, is it too late for the worst vacation ever?
Not at all. You're just in time.
We're First vacation was my honeymoon with my wife.
Oh, no.
Our first day down there, we stayed at a cabin and got all of our firewood stolen. The next day, we went swimming in the beach, and she jumped right into a big wave of jellyfish. All her face was swollen, all swelled up, and
Oh, my God.
and the next night she got food poisoning. And I got a speeding ticket on the way home.
Oh, my. Where did this happen?
Myrtle Beach.
I'm guessing you're not rushing back there anytime soon?
No time soon. Nope.
You still together?
Oh, absolutely.
Good, because sounds like a bunch of bad omens.
I was about 10 years old, and as a family, we always go up to our lake house in Michigan. It's about an 8.5-hour, 9-hour drive, and we always go up there for my birthday, which is the July 5th. So we run our way there, and I turn around and I say, "Hey, Dad, did you grab my piñata?" And my dad looks at my mom. Mom looks back at Dad. We're about 6 hours in at this point.
Oh, no.
And they both look at each other, and they said, "So who grabbed it?" So we didn't grab it. I threw a fit. We turned back around, came back to Columbus, got the piñata, and then drove all the way back there.
Oh, my.
Dad was very mad at my mom, and Mom was mad at Dad.
Did the thought ever occur to him?
No one thought about it.
Did the thought ever occur to him to stop in Michigan and buy another one?
Mom said to Dad that they should do that, and Dad said, "I already bought the candy, and it's sitting inside the piñata. I'm not doing that."
So I bet that was a joyful vacation after that.
Oh, it was a fun car ride, and it was pretty interesting, yes.
We went to Vegas to get married. We went there and got married. We went there to get married, and we stayed at a place that had a timeshare presentation, so it was free. We ended up with a timeshare.
Okay, part of staying at a place so you get it for free is saying no to the place when they try to get you to sign up.
Yeah, and I'm married, and I heard that the entire rest of the vacation.
Let me ask you, are you still in that same timeshare, and how many years have you been in it?
Since 2022, and we've used it twice and rented it out once.
It was a good vacation, but the ride down, the ride back were disasters. We had an old minivan, took it down with the kids and the dog, and the air conditioning went out. We were driving 15 hours down to the beach. The air conditioning went out about hour 10. 90 degrees, stuck on the highway. Everybody's sweating like crazy. 6 people in the car and a dog. It was bad. And then we finally made it there. Spend a week at the beach. It's wonderful. The hurricane comes in.
Oh, no.
We were leaving on a Saturday morning really early, like at 4 a.m. The hurricane was coming in Friday. So Thursday night, we realized we got to get out of here. We're not going to get out of here. So we load everything up. We leave Friday morning, and it's getting all, it's all humid, and it's getting windy and all of this stuff. We have no air conditioning. It's so humid. It starts raining. You can't see out the windows. So we have the windows down. I'm trying to lean out to clean the windshield as we're driving down the highway trying to get out. It was horrible.
I don't know if it's considered a disaster per se, but it's definitely an uncomfortable moment.
Okay.
And unforgettable. I was traveling through Kansas with my family. This was several years ago, and there was a tornado warning. And we had to, along with our 300 nearest and dearest friends, at approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, go down to the basement of a hotel in our nightgown finenesses, along with our pets. And they had apparently a pet convention or something going on, because there was every type of pet imaginable, ranging from fish to dogs to cats to even exotic pets like iguanas in this basement, along with these 300 people. That was clearly not made for 300.
Unbelievable.
Thankfully, no tornadoes, building's still standing, but it's something I will never forget.
We travel in our RV a lot, and we spent the Christmas in Florida. So the trip went down great. The whole time down there went great. We coming back, and basically I always like to stop at the big travel plazas that's got all the room, but I couldn't make it this time. We had to stop and get gas at a small gas station. Told everyone to stay put. Want to put $20 in, get and go. Well, apparently not everybody got the word. So I jumped in the motor home, and off we went.
Oh, no.
Well, I looked over. We normally have our little dog on the dash watching for traffic and all that, and I noticed he wasn't on the dash. And I looked over, noticed, well, crap, my wife's not there either. And there's her phone. So I holler back at the boys that are playing on a video game in the back bedroom, "Hey, where's Mom?" "We don't know. Get up and look." They couldn't find her. They come up. And I said, well, we must have left her at the gas station. And one I thought was going to cry. The other, the youngest boy, he went, "Cool." And about that time, the phone rang with a number I didn't know. And what it was some little old couple seen her and the dog running after the motorhome and said, "Would you like to borrow our phone?" So she calls, I answer, and she says, "Are you coming back to get me?" We had to go 5 miles up, get off, get back on the interstate, come back, and swing through and pick them up. Now, let's just say that was a long trip from Georgia to Columbus, Ohio.
I'll bet. I was going to ask you, Frank, how long it took you to live that one down.
Oh, it still gets brought up at the family reunions and such.
Here's the master of disaster, Rusty the coal bucket hauler from Sugar Grove. I can only imagine your story. Got a good one?
Oh, my God, I do.
All right, lay it on me, brother.
About 15, 16 years ago, we was headed down to the Outer Banks with our pop-up camper, and somebody was supposed to inspect that camper before we left and claimed that he did. And when we got there, we had an ant infestation underneath the mattresses.
Oh, my God.
And it was like 11 o'clock at night when we got there, and it was not Mama wasn't a happy a camper.
And I'm betting by 11:30 you discovered that ant infestation involuntarily.
Yeah, because we done popped it open, we got everything all loaded in there, and we're like, what the heck is this? Luckily, we had some nice neighbors there that had a couple of bombs, and we went ahead and bombed the inside of the camper, and about 3:30 we finally got everything cleaned up and was able to go to bed.